You know, if the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have not only first-party games from maybe the Legend of Zelda series or even the Super Mario Bros. Series or whatever Nintendo will launch with the Nintendo Switch 2 plus third-party games, and even some of those third-party games being exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 or the Nintendo Switch platform, the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be one hell of a day for us Nintendo fans, and I am extremely excited. What about you guys? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the RoboChan Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwood or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not, and have that notification bell on so you know when I upload. In this video, we are going to talk about the recent Nintendo Switch reports about the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, the difference between how they treated the Switch versus now and how that plays into the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and of course the support from developers on the platform. And overall, I'll have discussion of the recent news. We also have other topics as well, like the Switch lifetime sales. Moore's Law is Dead is coming out and saying stuff about the power of the Nintendo Switch 2, so we have a possible leak there to talk about as well, and some smaller other Nintendo Switch news topics. So the Nintendo Switch 2 is back in the news again. I think when it comes to talking about the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2 and overall the future of the brand, a lot of us are ready for it. Now, of course, some of us aren't. There's two sides to this coin, but I think overall, it's definitely time for the next phase of the Nintendo Switch's lifetime. Or maybe I'm alone in this. Let me know in the comment section below. Overall, the past couple of years, we've been getting a ton of rumors, leaks, and all that great stuff about the power of this console. More specifically, I'm talking about the 4K capabilities. Now, whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but one thing I do remember is a rumor about the Nintendo Switch 2 not only being able to do 4K, but Nintendo was telling its devs to make their games 4K ready. So what's the whole point of me telling you this? Well, that side of the Nintendo Switch 2 story may have more to it with some recent news about third-party developers with the Nintendo Switch 2 and the launch of this console. And it makes a ton of sense why devs would do this as well. This is what my Nintendo News has to say. Gaming and Stock Market analyst Paul Gale stated in an X post recently that the major third-party developers and studios are prepping big launch window titles for the Switch successor to make up for the missing Nintendo Switch's legendary release back in 2017, claiming that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have early significant ports, parallel releases, and exclusives. And this was his original post. This is what he said. A few major third-party developers whom at E3 2017 weren't anticipating Nintendo Switch's takeoff the way it did and didn't have the AAA title at launch / the show itself are working on big launch window releases for Nintendo's next system. Nintendo Switch 2 will have some early significant ports, parallel releases, and exclusives. I am thrilled at the prospect of what's next. Now, this is pretty big, especially since Nintendo has been trying to get that #1 spot for the all-time best-selling console of all time. In fact, if you guys haven't heard the recent news about the Nintendo Switch 2 versus PS2, the PS2 is just 1.1 million units ahead of the Nintendo Switch in the US. And keep in mind, this is for the best-selling console of all time, so that's pretty big. One thing that would really help with them getting those numbers and just overall worldwide sales as well is having third-party developers make games for the Nintendo Switch 2. Those big games that draw a lot of people. Not just the first party games like the Legend of Zelda games and the Super Marios and Donkey Kongs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure Nintendo wanted to secure that third party developer support at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm not too surprised at this report. But it really is exciting because I think a lot of us do want a lot of these bigger games. I mean, imagine if Baldur's Gate 3 was on the Nintendo Switch 2. That would be amazing. And when talking about specifically support for the original Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2, I think it's going to be backwards compatible because we have so many Nintendo Switch users. Over 140 million. Nintendo would be absolutely insane to just leave those in the dirt and forget about them and just go on with the Switch 2, right? So personally, I think Nintendo is going to support both consoles. And of course, they're going to have the power to back that up because the Nintendo Switch 2 is supposed to be more powerful than the original Nintendo Switch, which does lead me to believe that there will probably be Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games. Now, speaking of power, we do have some information, a Nintendo Switch leak from Moore's Law is Dead that talks about the power of the Nintendo Switch 2 and how it shapes up against the Steam Deck. Now, the Steam Deck is something that I see a lot of people bring up when they talk about the power of the Nintendo Switch 2 and how much power they actually want in this console. Some people have said that they need the Nintendo Switch 2 to at least be the power of the Steam Deck, or even going so far as to say to surpass it. Now, me personally, I don't need too much power. I just need the game to look good and run good, better than the original Nintendo Switch. That's one thing that we definitely need. It needs to surpass the original Nintendo Switch in a very noticeable way. When I finally boot up the Nintendo Switch 2, I want that thing to be very noticeable. And this recent Nintendo Switch leak from Moore's Law is Dead does give us a little bit more information on that, and this is what WCCF Tech has to say. Commenting on the leaked specs of the next console from Nintendo during the latest episode of Moore's Law is Dead, Broken Silicon Podcast, Alderaan Games, Matthew Castles provided some very interesting insights on the upcoming system. While its specs should put its performance almost on par with the Steam Deck, though the Switch 2 CPU weaker single core could impact performance in certain scenarios, as we already heard last month, some decisions have been made on the software side of things that could be very limiting. Console manufacturers include in their system security process and encryptions that introduce limitations, and the same is likely going to happen to the new Nintendo console. Now, if this does end up being true, the Nintendo Switch 2 being on par with the Steam Deck, or more or less anyways, I think that is good power for the Nintendo Switch 2. I know some people do want it to be more powerful than the Steam Deck, but I think at that point you're risking the amount of money you're going to be paying for this thing. Because keep in mind, Nintendo likes to keep the prices of their console down. They do like to have it so that it's affordable for anyone. Well, not anyone, but most people, I should say. People who are going to buy their console anyways, that plan on to. If they made it even more powerful, I think the price of that is definitely going to be going up, especially when you consider the battery life as well. One thing that we like on our portable consoles is a good battery life, or at least a halfway decent one. I mean, I know I have a commute that's at least an hour, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but it's fun to have my Nintendo Switch with me and play my game on the road while I'm going to my next job. There and back is about 2 hours, and if it ends up dying before then, that would suck. So personally, I'd be happy if it was on par with the Steam Deck. But what about you guys? Is that how much power you want from the Nintendo Switch 2, or do you want more than that? Overall, I would like to see the performance of these games to be drastically better than the Nintendo Switch. That's one thing that I definitely need on this console. If it's not there, then I'm going to be incredibly disappointed, and honestly, I'm going to wonder what's the whole point of buying it, other than the games that are exclusive to it. But even then, it's like, But yeah, what do you guys think? And moving on to some more news, we do have some news on the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, specifically the extra stories that we're going to have in this game. Square Enix has revealed more details on Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, which includes the new story sections that are being introduced in the remake and an overview of the world. Shared on Famitsu via Gematsu, Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake will feature several new scenes that will focus on Ortega, who is the protagonist's father. Ortega is a hero in his own right and the one who attempted to slay the archfiend Baramos before your character. The intro of the NES and Game Boy versions of the game show Ortega's battle atop a volcano where he meets his end. So I think that's pretty cool. Anytime that these games end up adding new things to the game, I'm always welcome to it, especially if it's like a remaster or remake, not just HD 2D remakes. I absolutely love also when they just come out with new DLC for like an older game. So like the new DLC for, well, it's not new now, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, they made a DLC for that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Honestly, I kind of like that idea actually. I kind of wish they would do that with more games, just games that are older but they were really good and they just go back and make new DLCs. I don't know how that's even possible, but it's pretty cool. And last but not least, I just want to say this. I've been looking at the movie reviews for the Borderlands movie and they are bad. It started at a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I know video game adaptations can be bad, but 0? I mean, even Resident Evil got higher than that. This just makes me curious on how bad it is, and I'm gonna find out tomorrow. Maybe I'll tell you guys in the next episode just how bad it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about today's news. Are you gonna get the Nintendo Switch 2? Have you even seen the Borderlands movie? Did you think it was really bad? Are you okay with the power of the Nintendo Switch 2 potentially being as powerful as the Steam Deck? And are you excited to see the Dragon Quest story of Ortega? Probably saying that wrong. I apologize if I do. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.